So nimwanunulia nyumba. I think this week nitawachukua, nitakaa na wao, nitawalea.
You won't believe what just happened to Pastor Victor Kanyari. This week, everything changes. After months of chaos, tears and a bitter custody war, Kanyari says that he is taking his children back and for good.
Lakini kutoka mama yao akufe, wamekuwa wakali kiasi. Mpaka nashindwa ni kufundishwa, wanafundishwa vibaya manini.
A 90 million mansion, secret plans, and a deadline that has everyone shaking. Children are crying, a grieving family is becoming divided, and a grandmother's explosive demand that changed everything. But that is not all. Wait until you hear what forced this sudden move, because what happens next could destroy one household and redefine custody laws forever. Stay with me because this story gets darker by the second. On Sunday, December 14th of 2025, inside the walls of Salvation Healing Ministries Church in Nairobi, Pastor Victor Kanyari stood before his congregation and made an announcement that will send shockwaves across social media within hours. I think I am going to take them this week and stay with them, he declared, with his voice steady but carrying the weight of weeks of public scrutiny.
So nimwanunulia nyumba. I think this week nitawachukua.
I am going to raise them. But this wasn't just another sermon. This was the culmination of a month-long saga that began on November 10th when the gospel singer Bayo took her last breath at Kenyatta National Hospital. Since that tragic day, Kenya has watched, debated and divided itself over the burning question, who should raise Kai Victor and Danny Victor, the two children that Bayo had left behind? The biological father who created them or the stepfather who has raised them? For weeks, Pastor Kanyari has remained relatively quiet, watching as social media erupted with opinions, as Betty's mother made explosive allegations, and as legal experts weighed in on parental rights. He had taken the children on outings, bought them clothes worth 78,000 Kenyan shillings, shared meals with them, but he had not made his move until now. Let me take you back 2 weeks ago, November 16th of 2025, while Nairobi buzzed with speculation about custody arrangements. Pastor Victor Kanyari was doing something that will later become crucial to his entire plan. He was house hunting. Yesterday I was in Runda looking for a house to buy. He had told his congregation that Sunday he had gone to Runda to look for a house, a 90 million shilling house, and let that sink in for a moment. In a country where the average home costs a fraction of that amount, Kanyari was preparing to make a statement, and not just to social media critics, not just to legal experts, but to his children. This would be their sanctuary, their swimming pool, their safe haven after losing their mother. But here is what makes this even more intriguing. In his most recent announcement, Kanyari revealed that the house was no longer just a dream. I have bought a house so that the kids can stay there together with Betty's sister, he declared. The deal was done. The mansion, worth 90 million shillings or possibly 91 million, as he mentioned in another sermon, was secured. And there is something else, something that Kanyari said that reveals just how calculated this entire plan has been. He mentioned that Bayo's sister would be living in the mansion with the children. Now, not a new wife, not even a girlfriend, Betty's own sister, providing continuity maternal care, a connection to their mother. This wasn't just about custody anymore. This was about creating an entire ecosystem for these children, a world where they could heal, where they could remember their mother, and where they could swim away their sorrows in a pool that costs more than most Kenyans will earn in a lifetime. But that is not all, because while Kanyari was preparing this mansion, someone else was preparing their own battle plan. Joyce Wairimu Mbugua, Bayo's mother, a woman grieving an unimaginable loss from thousands of miles away in the United States. Saturday, December 6th of 2025, during a Facebook live session with content creator Shirua Auckland, Joyce did something that will send tremors through the custody debate. She declared herself Bayo's only legal next of kin and issued a warning that left no room for interpretation. After Pastor Victor Kanyari heard Joyce Wairimu's pleas, and in a video that will soon circulate across social media, he addressed them directly. I have been staying quiet and observing things for myself, Kanyari said, his tone very respectful but firm. I am very touched by what that woman is going through. It has touched me. I would like to ask Tash to listen to her wishes so that you may not get a curse from the one who passed away or her as a mother. On December 14th of 2025, where Kanyari announced his plan to take custody this week, but before the announcement, he revealed something that will break the hearts of everyone watching. Since their mother passed away, Kanyari said, his voice carrying a hint of pain, they have been a little hostile. I am even wondering if it is something that they are being taught. I mean, they have been questioning me so much, but I understand. The children, Sky and Danny Victor, grieving the loss of their mother, caught between two homes, two fathers and two worlds, were now questioning their biological father, challenging him and testing him. Was someone teaching them to resist? Was this just their natural response of traumatized children, or was there something else happening behind the scenes? Kanyari had shared earlier observations that painted an even more heartbreaking picture. I often see them with teary eyes. He had revealed in a previous statement, they ask me difficult questions, which I struggle to answer. Imagine being a child, losing your mother to leukemia at such a young age. Imagine having your stepfather, the man who raised you, tell you at the memorial service that he will never leave you. Then imagine your biological father, whom you see occasionally, suddenly talking about buying a mansion, about taking you away from the only home you have ever known since your mother remarried. The confusion, the grief, the fear, it all manifests as hostility, as questions and tears. And here is something that adds another layer to this story. Kanyari has revealed that he had even spent 1 million shillings on plane tickets for Sky and Danny to travel to America, covering their round-trip flights and expenses. 1 million shillings to ensure they could visit their grandmother, to maintain that connection to their mother's family. I am saddened that my children will no longer see their mother again, Kanyari said, his words heavy with grief. Perhaps they can go to where she is. Hiram Gitaud, Tash, the man who had remained relatively quiet throughout this public custody battle, the man who, at Betty Bayo's memorial service, stood with Sky and Danny Victor and made a promise that millions witnessed. Tash had pledged, I will honor Betty Bayo's dreams for them, I will give them love and security. But now, Betty Bayo's mother was saying that he wasn't fit. Kanyari was saying he was taking the children this week. Social media was divided between those who believed blood is thicker than water and those who believed that the man who raised you deserves consideration. And in the middle of all this, there was a leaked audio, a conversation between Kanyari and others, where he discussed Tash's desires regarding the children. According to the reports, Tash had wanted to retain custody to continue raising the children he had helped parent for years. Pastor Victor Kanyari, to his credit, he had initially shown compassion. I know he is hurt, Kanyari had said in a previous sermon, but I don't know his situation because she was his wife and I know he is in mourning, and those people who can make his spirit feel better are my children being close to him. That is why I am not reacting. I can't just take them away. I have seen people fight for wives and kids, but I don't want to fight. I just want to stay a good person. But things had changed. Betty Bayo's mother's intervention had shifted the dynamics. The safety concerns raised by Joyce Wairimu had added urgency to the situation, and now Pastor Victor Kanyari was no longer talking about giving Tash time to mourn. He was talking about action. And this week, meaning these 7 days, whenever I was near Tash, Kanyari had revealed, I will tell him not to cause drama so that we give Betty a befitting send-off. He used to ask me, who will stay with the children? And I told him, stay with them, but that was before, because the grandmother's demands, before the safety concerns, and before the hostility, before the 90 million shilling mansion was secured. Now, as I record this video, Kenya is holding its breath. Pastor Victor Kanyari has announced his intention to take custody this week. The mansion in Runda is ready. Betty Bayo's sister is prepared to move in and provide maternal care. The grandmother is supportive and the law is on his side, but he hasn't revealed revealed exactly how he intends to make this happen. Will he arrive at the house where Tash and the children currently live and simply take them away? Will there be police involvement as Joyce Wairimu suggested, and will Tash resist? Or will he respect the grandmother's wishes as Kanyari urged him to do? And what about the children themselves, Sky and Danny Victor, who have been described as hostile, questioning, tearful? How will they react when their father arrives to take them to a new home, a new life, and a new reality? This is more than just a custody battle. This is a story about grief and healing, about biological bonds and a chosen family. If you want to stay updated on this developing story, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell, because you need to drop a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think Kanyari should take full custody, or should the children stay with Tash? What role should Betty Bayo's mother play in this decision? And remember, at the center of all this drama are two children who just lost their mother. Let us keep them in our thoughts as this drama unfolds. Let's catch up on my next video as we get to know what is happening in the next celebrity drama files.